White Beam, to me, is a very intriguing upset possibility. She should be 4, 5, 6 to 1. Thank you for visiting Past the Wire TV, the YouTube channel of PastTheWire.com.
Tracking trips with Pick Six King John Stetton. It's one of the best tools in horse racing for any level of player. It's your second set of eyes, spotting troubled trips, betting angles, track trends, horses to watch and favorites to fade, 10 figs, ticket structure, and more. At Tracking Trips, you're a friend with benefits. Not a member? You must hate winning money. Join Tracking Trips now. Visit PastTheWire.com and we'll see you in the winner's circle. Remember, nobody does it better.
Frankie Dettori. Ciao, Frankie. Tutto a posto.
Tutto a posto. Yes, that's a good start. So you haven't lost your Italian.
Frankie Dettori, legend, world-class jockey, one of the best ever to sit in the saddle, ambassador to the sport of kings. Meet Frankie during his fanfare like never before, only on Past the Wire TV.
Hey, what's going on there, everybody? Gio Setti back at you, Past the Wire TV. Hoping all has been well. Saratoga meet in full swing. And we now have the Whitney Stakes, Whitney Day, Saturday, coming up in a couple days as I tape this on Thursday. Let's talk about the Whitney. I'm going to provide you my handicap. Obviously, a huge race, a big day of racing at Saratoga, nice card, many quality stakes races on the undercard on top of it. But of course, Whitney Stakes takes center stage. Field of 6, arguably the best older horses in training. We're going to talk a lot about Cody's Wish and what lies ahead and what the horse has accomplished. And just I know it's overkill, but just a tremendous story with the kid and all the connections surrounding Cody's Wish. So I'm going to make it easier for you guys, all right? The history of the race is tremendous. If you're a fan of the sport, you have to love the Whitney. Closing in on 100 years of history. All got started in 1928. Just give you a couple of tidbits of history. Of course, last year, Life is Good wins with Irad. A couple of years ago, Knicks Go. Going back to 2017, Gunrunner, one of my favorite horses, and he's become a fabulous sire. Frosted won the race. I mean, there's so many. Going back to 2010 with Blame. So the history is there. We know it. So now we have a field of 6. And obviously the foundation of the race is the story of Cody's Wish and everything he's done and accomplished prior to this running. But I feel it's going to be rather competitive. And I'll give you my precise order of the 6. So let's start and talk about the race. Of course, going 9 furlongs, 1 1/8 at Saratoga. Let me bring up my notes. All right, number 1 is Zandon. Now, Zandon is a colt, a hard-hitting, gritty colt that, in my opinion, had a big run through his 3-year-old campaign. Just couldn't hit the high note. Won the Bluegrass, a race that I had him, made some money on, and he was extremely impressive in the Bluegrass at Keeneland. Came short in the Kentucky Derby, but ran big, very big. We all know what happened with Rich Strike, and turning for home. I thought it was Zandon and Epic Center down to the wire, and he just got out-finished. And we know the crazy story that Rich Strike was, one-hit wonder. Anyway, Rosario's up for Chad Brown. Now, I know this horse very, very well. I didn't have to watch much film because I basically have followed his entire career. So a lot of that is engraved in my mind. Hard hitter, like I said. He's only 2 for 11 lifetime. Has disappointed many times, but he's hit the board in 10 out of 11 starts. He's won in the wet. I don't think we have to worry about the wet. It's going to be a nice day on Saturday. He's won at the distance. He's actually 5 for 5 in the money in distance, so he's built for the distance. His last, the Met, Grade 1, he ran well. But he was beaten soundly by Cody's Wish. So keep that in mind. Is he made for the distance? Do I believe he'll be ready? Yeah, because I trust Chad Brown. A contender just because of his body of work, but not the most likely winner, but certainly dangerous on his best if a couple of the others falter, including Cody's Wish. Number 2 is Charge It. Now, I've been a big fan of Charge It for the longest time. Underappreciated in my mind. When he was part of the Triple Crown run, I thought he ran huge in the Florida Derby. Then the Kentucky Derby was just a disaster. Steadied, had no trip whatsoever. Came out of that, and he won the Dwyer by, 23 lengths, almost a football field. Ran a 111 Beyer then. That was in July of 22. Then he laid him off. Came back in February of this year. Bossed the field at odds on just to get him set. Ran a big race. And since that race, he's disappointed on the board. Took in a lot of money. The race that I really watched big, and I was wondering why he came up empty. He was wide, was in the Met Mile at Belmont, 1-turn mile. Cody's Wish, Zandon, and White Barrio was in this race, all finished ahead of him. I just didn't think he was right that day. Then I backed him going 1.25 miles at Belmont in the Suburban, ran like the wind blows. And that's the race that you have to really take in and understand this horse's capability. Of course, Johnny V up for Todd Pletcher. His last was at 1.25 miles, so now he's cutting back a bit, going 1.125 miles. I believe he's built for either one of the distances. He'll be a pace factor. If he runs his best race, his A game, and he's been sort of inconsistent, he could win. He could win. He's dangerous. Can you have a glowing ray of confidence? No, because of the likes of Cody's Wish and how good a couple of the others are training, and we're going to get into White Barrio in a second. So Charge It, pace factor, his best, he's definitely capable. He's a powerful 4-year-old. He's training well. I don't like his inconsistency ways, and he's making his debut at Saratoga. So we don't know what that's going to offer. But Son of Tappert should be ready to go. The 3 is Giant Game. Look at my notes here. Now, Giant Game, written by Luis Sayas, Dale Romans. You know, there was a time Dale Romans would shock the world. He'd come up big in big spots. That hasn't happened much over the last few years, but I respect the Bond. You know, this is a $500,000 son of Giants Causeway, but comes in, winning his last 2, making a Saratoga debut, won at the distance before, but you know, just a cut below these. I mean, it's a big ask for this horse to win. On his best day, if he continues to move forward, because he's in great form, could he finish 3rd? Yeah, in a 6-horse field, it's a minor award. 4th, of course, but he's just not as good on paper, buyers-wise, and his full body of work. He's more of a grade 3, grade 2 type of horse. So I wouldn't consider him on the win end, but if you're playing deeper exotics and you want to throw him in there to have some fun, it's a nice horse, but a cut below the rest. All right, the 5 is Last Samurai. Actually, the 4 is Last Samurai. Been following him since he began. His trainer, his coach, legendary Dwayne Lucas, son of Malibu Mood. Only won once at the distance, 27 career starts, but he's another hard hitter. On his best day, he comes hard and he comes fast and he's got guts and he sort of runs in between horses. Pratt is a new rider change for the horse. You know, nice work at Churchill coming into the race. I tried to be more intrigued by him, but the 1 for the 11 at the distance and facing some horses that just look dynamic in their ways, again, he'd have to have others falter for him to win. So at best, he's a triple threat to hit the triple or superfecta board. Someone's going to have to run 5th. Someone's going to have to run 6th. So he's a reach to be in the money. Is he capable? Yeah, but not in the exacta. I won't use him in the exacta. Wide Barrio. Now, this horse, very intriguing, dangerous for a few reasons. He's won at the distance, and since Rick Dutrow took him over from the Saffie Joseph barn, you know, I believe in the barn and their ways of developing a horse to a greater level. Irad is a new rider. Irad's he's the leading rider at Saratoga. This horse is making his Saratoga debut. If you watch him in the Met, ran well but had an awful trip. Had excuses, stumbled start, was wide, was just in a big jam. And he had Cody's Wish and Zandon that he had to contend with. I think the horse is up and coming. Won at the distance before, which is important, at Gulfstream Park when he was part of the Triple Crown journey. Now as a 4-year-old, he seems to be getting better. Ran a 103 and a 106 back-to-back buyers. This gray should be ready to go. The horse is tactical. May even have an opportunity to get a jump on the others. Coming off the pace. I see him really in the mix after they turn from home as they approach the 8th pole. And if Irad's Irad, and listen, Cody's Wish is going to come. We're going to get into that. And so is Zandon, and Charge, it's going to be tough on the lead. So, again, belongs in this race. He's improving as a 4-year-old. Obviously, I love Irad on any big game, big race opportunity, and I trust a bond that this horse is moving in the right direction. Let's go to Cody's Wish now. Now, look, unless you're living under a rock, if you have any knowledge of the game today, he's arguably the best horse in training on the soil. 9 for 13 lifetime. Comes into the race winning 6 straight, 4 grade 1s. Not 1, not 2, not 3. 4 consecutive grade 1s. Triple-digit buyers in all 6. His last was a 112. He beat Zandon and Wide Barrio on the square. He was wide. This son of Crowan, like I said, deserves to be significantly backed at the window. He's the horse to beat. We all know that. If he runs his best, he's not losing. The mile and an eighth shouldn't be too much of an ask because, yeah, he's never won at the distance. He raced at Saratoga over the track at the distance. But this two-turn event, the way he performed in his last few, the mile at the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, that day he beat Cyberknife. Prior to that, in the Forgo, he beat Jackie's Warrior. His body of work is just ridiculous as to who he's beaten on a square. And his last at Belmont, granted it's a mile, and now he's got to go a mile and an eighth. And it's not so much that he has more distance. This horse is just ridiculously talented. The story, I implore you, please, if you don't know the story, read up about it. It may bring a tear to your eye. The kid, the whole ownership, Bill Mott, it's just a great story. So this Son of Crowing, wonderful 5-year-old, unblemished on the dirt, 8 wins in 10 starts, did run third a couple times. But if he runs his best, he wins. But the way I see the race materializing, all right, you're going to have, no doubt, Giant Game on the lead, charge it up there as well. I think Wider Barrio is going to be sitting third, sort of like in the catbird seat, may have first run. He's training well. And then you're going to get big runs. I think you're going to have lasting effect from Charge It and a big run from Zandon and Cody's Wish. And if Cody's Wish is Cody's Wish, numbers-wise, talent-wise, and his whole body of work and who he's defeated, that long list of quality horses and the successes they had, he's your most likely winner. So, as a handicapper, I have to be decisive. I kind of like the way Charge It has a level of explosiveness, but he's inconsistent. But I'm going to lay it out there, and listen, it's a fun race to watch. If you're going to bet the race, you either got to hammer to win or go with a cold exacta or a very hefty triple. And if I had to, I'm going to use Cody's Wish over Charge It in my exacta. Maybe another exacta with Zandon. So Cody's Wish, Charge It, Zandon, Wider Barrio, Last Samurai, Giant Game. That's my order. Now, can Wider Barrio, because he's got IRAD and he's going to be first to go after the front runners? Yeah, he's a big threat with a clean trip, but what are you going to do? You can't, like I said, you can't embrace every one of them. You got to be decisive. You can have fun, just watch the race, but a lot of people are going to be betting this race on a square for all the exotics and multi-race wagering, your doubles, your pick 5, your pick 3. Hard to go against Cody's Wish. Can you make an argument for Wider Barrio, Charge It, and Zandon? Because Charge It has that ridiculous explosiveness from time to time, albeit very inconsistent, I think if everything goes perfect, he could possibly upset the field. But there you have it. Giosetti, Whitney. Now, I'm going to do the whole card. For you folks, I am going to put some of the undercard stakes races in the comments. Please, if you appreciate my handicap and all I share, let me know. I promise you I'll give you some selections in the comments. I'm running out of time. I got to rock and roll. Let's have a great Whitney Day. I'll be back for the Alabama, the girls. And of course, the Travers is going to be a big, big show. I'm probably going to do the Travers Day with John Stetton. We'll talk about that. Major card, and it shapes up to be a absolute dogfight of a 3-year-old race. It's probably going to be 10, 11, or 12 horses in a race too. All right? So let's go get them. I'll talk to you real soon. Past the Wire TV, the place to be. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless the sport of kings.
in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Vino Rosso has taken the lead, and it's a vintage performance by Vino Rosso.
Hi everybody, Dan Oman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets.
It is here, the big day, the day almost all of us in horse racing wait for, Breeders' Cup Saturday. It looks like we're going to see some really impressive races on Saturday. It starts with the filly and mare sprint. One of my stronger opinions on the card is Goodnight Olive to start things off. I think she gets a perfect trip.
Goodnight Olive, 6 in a row and a Breeders' Cup champion.
We've got Modern Games going in the Turf Mile for Godolphin. The Godolphin and Aidan O'Brien horses we said on Past the Wire TV all week long on the backside. Those two contingents stuck out from all the rest. Modern Games looking for a big race from him.
Modern Games storming down the center of the course. Modern Games, a two-time Breeders' Cup winner. You bet he is.
That is Rebels Romance, who in my humble opinion is one of Godolphin's better chances this year. Rebels Romance is a very good looking Godolphin horse that can absolutely win this race. Rebels Romance is a must use.
Rebels Romance rolling on the outside. Warlock got it. Makes her bid down toward the inside. Rebels Romance down the center of the course. Has it close to home. Rebels Romance wins the turf over Stoney.
We got Flightline that they're putting in the best ever category. There's no question that the race he ran in the Pacific Classic is one of the best races we've seen any racehorse run ever.
It is Flightline. It is spine-tingling, jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring, Secretariat-like Breeders' Cup Classic win.
Does it better.